Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with this Tuesday expert, Omar, the real estate entrepreneur. How you doing, sir?
Good, Michael. What's happening? Thanks for having me as usual every Tuesday.
There you go, man. So, hey, I'm actually going to turn it over to you because you asked me a question earlier, and I'm like, dude, that would be a great topic. So, Omar, the floor is yours, and let's have you ask me a question or series of questions.
Number one, what's the key to becoming a good landlord when you first start?
Wow, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. So I think there's a couple of things. Now that I've helped thousands of people get on this path, I think my answer is a little more refined. So step one, I want people to realize is, I don't know how else to say this, get ready to work. Because I think becoming a landlord actually starts before you buy anything, right? Something I've come to realize, and again, over the last 20 years, I've helped thousands of people, anybody can buy a deal. Anybody can buy a rental. It's only the people that do the work that buy good or great deals. So I only teach, I talk about, I invest in people. Our Facebook group, which you're a part of, is, go do the work, figure out average, and then all we're going to do is good and great deals from there. So the first thing I would tell you is you're going to have to do some work, daily discipline, buy box, all these things I talk about all the time. You're going to work 60, 75, 90 days before you write an offer. And for some people, that drives them nuts. They got money in their pocket. It's burning a hole in their, burning a hole in their pocket, and they just want to do it, right? I'm not that guy, right? Anybody can go online, write an offer, and buy a rental. That doesn't make it a good deal, and it certainly doesn't make it a great deal. So the step one is get ready to do the work. And if you don't know how, buy the $300 course. It's ridiculously cheap. And I'll show you how.
Super cheap.
It's stupid cheap. And oh, by the way, the price is going up January 1. Buy it now or, pay more later. So that's the first thing, is get ready to work. Number two, you've really got to ask yourself, how do you want to manage it? Okay, now you've got it. You got your first great deal. Do you want to self-manage? And self-manage is great if that's who you are. I happen to be an individual that chose a market that was 2.5 hours away. I happen to have a day job that could take me all over the world. I was helping raise a family and was not going to turn over responsibility for daily management to my wife. So property management was the only option for me. That doesn't mean you don't have a responsibility. You must manage the manager, but you're out of the daily muck and mire. Some people want to self-manage, right? It is so important that I've added it to this cheap course, right? $299. Dion and the Lumberjack have added self-manage. How do they self-manage? What do they do? What are this? What are that? So again, if that's who you are, figure it out. For me, it was never an option. For you, for lots of people, it is. I think the numbers, and I got this from the CEO of Hemlane, who is also a weekly expert. I think 78% of mom and pop landlords self-manage. That's crazy. I didn't think it was that high, but I'm quoting somebody else's metric, so it is what it is. So number three, I hope people took this from one rental at a time. I hope people take this from my quotes: time in the market's better than timing the market. I want you to be ready to hold for 10 years, period.
Yep.
Full stop. I don't want to hear anything about this. I'm in and out in a year and a half or 2 or 3 years. I want you to get the full benefit of mortgage pay down, of inflation, of all of these things. Everything I buy, I plan to hold forever. And, if the market changes, I change, but that's the plan at point of purchase. So I want you, I will not accept anything less than 10 years. I want you, that's the plan. I want you going in, right? If the market goes wonky and it goes unaffordable, then of course sell. That's what I did, right? 1031 out in 2006 and 7. And then the last one is just the reality. You're in the people business. You're going to be working, tenants are your clients. If you have property managers and contractors and painters and inspectors and bankers, and people are going to disappoint you. People suck, right? Not everybody is above board. There are liars, thieves, and cheats out there. You are going to bump into them over 10 years. Deal with it. Don't let their lying, stealing, and cheating ruin your day. Deal with it, move on, cut them out of your life, check the KPIs, do what it takes. So again, these are the things that are important for me. So get ready to do the work. Anybody can buy a deal, but only the great ones can buy good or great. Self-manage or pay someone else. Hold for 10 years, and then get ready. People suck. They lie, cheat, and steal. And also don't forget Mother Nature can get kind of cranky with big rainstorms and hailstorms and earthquakes and fires
And wind.
and wind. Yeah, we just had a big windstorm. Wind knocked out my Wi-Fi last night. It was kind of crazy. It was screaming yesterday. So yeah, that's those are the four things I have off the top of my head.
Wow, that's awesome. You answered another question I was going to ask you.
Mhm.
If you either self-manage or property manage, and at what point, it leads me to my next one. At what point would you recommend a property manager, and is that the key indicator or the key ingredient to scale when you do give up the reins?
That's a great
asking
question.
Somebody with a bunch of doors.
That's a great question because I get this question asked earlier on. So I've had a property manager since day one, since I had nowhere to drive, the property I write about in the book,
Really?
and will forever. It's interesting. I will flip the script. I actually get the following question a lot lately. Hey, big shot, you got a lot of rentals. Why are you paying a property manager? Why don't you create your own company? Why don't you hire your own team?
Right.
You got so much, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first off, I get the math. I get it. But you guys don't get what freedom is. I do this to have the financial freedom to do what I want. If I had employees, sure, I might save a couple of bucks, but my quality of life would suck, at least in comparison to how awesome it is today. Can you imagine hiring and firing and promoting and managing work orders and doing all that nonsense? No, I would rather save the 30 hours that would go to that. I want to work out 90 minutes a day. I want to go to lunch every day with Olivia. I want to surprise her and go to dinner 4 days a week. I am not going to ruin the life that I have built for 15 years to save a couple of bucks. And by a couple of bucks, I could probably save 20 grand by having employees. It's not that important. It's not about the money. So that's
great freaking answer.
Yeah. So the lastly, to go back to a question that nobody's ever asked me, is property management the key to scale? No, it's the key to better time management. What do you, in this case, Omar, want to do with your time? I pay a property manager because they take, I don't know, if I self-managed, I would probably have to commit 40 to 60 hours of my time to deal with just that stuff. I spend 2 hours a week now. So that means I get 58 hours to do whatever the hell I want with. So again, I don't look at property management as the key to scale, like outsourcing at all. I mean, it probably helps. But no, it's at least for me, it's a key to better quality of life.
That's it right there. Better quality of life. Huge. And this is coming from somebody who has 38 doors.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
And I self-manage them all. And it's I don't have big units, 10, 15 units per, but and you know what? For the most part, I've been lucky, knock on wood, because and I've always thought about that. I was like, do I just give it up and just quality of life, here you go. I don't want to deal with it. Deal with somebody else. I'll increase the rents all across the board.
Pay for your fee. Yeah. Pay for the fee.
Yeah. And that's it. And no one's going to leave for $100. So I'm thinking about that now. You got my brain spinning. So I appreciate that answer.
Yeah. I think for you, right? I mean, like, for example, if you have 38 units and you spend 4 hours a week or 4 hours a month or whatever it is, probably not a big deal. But at some point, you're going to get to a point, maybe in a year or two, you have 80 units, your little one's going to be 6 or 7. And you're going to be like, I am starting to miss recitals and this and that because of this stupid headache. That's it. I'm done. Quality of life's more important. Pay someone their 8 points or 10 points or whatever it is. I'm never going to miss a recital again. Something like that will happen.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm thinking about this now. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for that answer.
Yeah, no
Michael.
problem.
One more question if we got time.
Yes, we do.
Now, I had another question I was going to ask you, but after you answered this first question, 10-year hold, okay?
Yeah.
10-year hold or a monster flip? or a monster profit margin. Okay.
Oh.
So, and I'm going to ask it this way because I did a couple videos yesterday. My 9, 10, 11-year holds have made me so much damn money.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And it's like, okay, you just hit that nail right now at that 10 mark, because it's like, and I broke it all down. I was 985%, 1,200% return on my money, initial investment. Yeah. It's stupid. Okay.
It's stupid.
And plus appreciation, plus all the other stuff. So this is where, because I'm looking at some of these flips that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck. Sorry, my language. Can I keep them?
Yeah.
Because now they're higher price points. But so would you take the 10-year mark and keep them? Or at what point would you sell it as a flip if you make a certain amount of money? Is it 80? Is it 100? Is it 120? 150K return?
Oh,
what is it?
I love this question. So first off, when I look at all the properties I would be buying right now, I would look at what's the yield, right? If it's negative, for example, I would flip it, because sometimes you get to a price point where it's so above the median that it doesn't make sense as a rental. I will, if it's break even or lower, meaning negative cash flow, I flip them all the time. So that's step one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Because some of them might be right. You're doing $1 million house, for example. That's going to be a flip for me, because $1 million houses in Fresno don't cash flow. They just don't. Right. So if I got one of those, I would flip it all the time. In my market, my yield today is 6%. So if I was looking at an 8% yield, for example, or 100K flip, meaning profit, I would hold it. 8% of my market is great. I hold all great deals.
Explain that though. 8% yield.
Yeah.
So again, cash return.
Yep. Cash on cash, right out of my course. I call it yield. Some people call it return on capital. Some people call it cash on cash. So whatever your down payment is, make ready costs, then you do the, rent minus all expenses. If the end, again, you have to know average, right? My market is 6. Right. If you got 2 points, 2.5 points more than average, that's a great deal in most markets. I would hold that all day long. Even if it's 100K, I would hold it. Because again, I believe I can lock in cheap money. I think inflation is going to be nasty. If I take the 100K and I try to move that somewhere else, it'll take me months or quarters to deploy it. Rates could be much higher by then. And now my cheap money, right? So I value cheap money so much right now. I am borrowing money on free and clear assets. I have less free and clear assets today than I did 90 days ago, because I'm going to go get as much cheap 30-year money as I can. So if I have an 8% yield and a 3.5% mortgage, I don't care if I make 100. I don't care if I make 200 grand. I'm going to hold that thing as long as it's a great deal for at least 10 years.
Wow. Okay. You just gave me some crazy ass insights. It looks like I'll be keeping the other 5 houses I was about to flip.
Yeah. And for you could burr out of them and probably get even a better return, right? Burr the money out.
Well, yeah. You know what though? And that's the thing. If you burr them, which I have, I'm doing about a 4 or 5 package deal now in a portfolio loan, and it's a 3.5% money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, give me 75% LTV.
Yeah. The money right now is crazy.
Yes.
The money right now is crazy.
And then now, obviously everyone does the burr, or everybody wants to. Now at that point, I am no money invested in these properties, making a $300 return per month. It's very low though, right?
It's okay.
But I have no money in it.
Yeah. I mean, if 300 was too low, next time you go 70% LTV. You don't always have to go to the max, right? You want to, maybe it's 500 next time or whatever. But yeah, it's I will hold a lot more. Again, I will sell all negative cash flow. I'll sell it like if it was break even, sell it. Break even. Somebody farts and you lose money, right? Yeah. But if it's break even or less, sell it. If it's a great yield or return, if you're in my course, you know what that means. I would keep it. Now the last point is if it's a 6% return, which is average, I would sell average. I would sell average because I only want great deals. Yeah. Again, what did I talk about in the first video? It takes work to find good or great. I'm not happy with. I have no interest in being average. None. I would sell average.
Good or great. That's it, man. That is my deal now.
Very
That's
cool,
it.
Omar. Well, I gotta get going. Where can people find you?
Guys, just follow me on IG, Omar_Alfaro. We'll be coming out with some cool stuff. Always appreciate you having me, Michael.
You got it, man. I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for joining from your phone.
Absolutely. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Later,
Bye.
guys.